Hey everybody, Dr. Green here. This short video is meant to help you get set up and rolling for CS 5010 Fundamentals of Programming. So in this class, we are going to be using Python as a programming language to teach you all the fundamentals of software engineering, computer science, programming, all those kind of things. So the first thing you're going to want to do, regardless of the platform you're on, is navigate on over to python.org. Go to the downloads and pick your platform. If you're on Windows, you probably just click there. You can click right through. You can pick the latest package, all those things. Really easy to do. Download, install, run the installer. You'll be in good shape. Now, if you are on a Mac, I recommend installing this a slightly different way, which is the recommended way on the Mac. And that's to install something called Homebrew. Homebrew is a package manager for the Mac. The easiest way to install that is to go to this webpage, brew.sh. Go down here, you'll see this command right here. We can just copy that. And then we want to go ahead and open up a terminal. You paste that in your terminal, you go ahead and hit enter, and then you follow it through. It will install Homebrew. Once you've gotten through that stage, all you have to do is type brew, install Python 3, hit the enter key, and it will install it for you system-wide. And now you'll be up and running with Python. In addition to Python, we need a place to write our code. To do that, we are going to use an IDE or an integrated development environment. The one that we're using for this class is going to be VS Code. Very easy to get. You can see you can download it right here. It'll pop up to what you're looking at. So you go ahead in here. You can download the universal stable for Windows, whatnot. Download it here. Run that installer, get it installed, and you will be in good shape. We'll talk a little bit more about VS Code in a moment. But for now, that will do. You're also going to want to install Git. Git is what we call a tool for version control. What is version control, you may ask? When we write code, we store that code in files. And in order to keep track of it, what we do is we have another software tool that effectively takes snapshots or pictures of our code in time, lets us store it, lets us look back through all those changes we've made. And then once we've made the changes, it lets us move it around easily to share it. Not only is this standard practice in software engineering and computer science, it's industry standard, so we want you to pick up these skills along the way. Now, I'm going to walk you through all this step by step, so don't get too nervous. Just go ahead and go to the downloads. Go ahead, download this for your platform, run that installer, and you'll be in good shape. The only thing that I do ask is that if you are running the installer, and it asks you a question about installing for just you or for everyone or whatnot, make sure you install it for everyone. All right. Also, if you are on a Mac, you can check. This should already be installed on your Mac. It comes standard. If it is not, you can always type brew install git now that you have Homebrew installed, and that will take care of the issues for you. In addition to that, to share code, we are going to use a platform called GitLab. GitLab allows us to share the code that we are tracking with our version control software called Git. So you'll need to create an account here. I already have an account, so I can just go ahead and sign in. You, of course, will be registering. You'll see there's a register button here. I will go ahead and do this. I have two-factor authentication set up. So you'll see we'll be able to set this up, log in, we'll see a dashboard. Yours will be empty, but we will get back to how to use this in just a moment. So now that we have all this set up, we want to walk through a couple things real quick just to make sure you're up and running. So you'll have Python, you'll have all those things. I want you to go ahead and open VS Code. You'll do that just by going to your Start menu or your Dock and Applications in your Mac. This is what VS Code looks like. VS Code's a great cool tool. It's an industry standard. It lets us run code. It lets us debug code. It lets us do all kinds of wonderful things with our code. You'll see that I can manage files. I can open a folder, all these kind of things. The place we want to go first is into extensions. There's a couple extensions that you're going to want to install if they're not already installed. First, go ahead and type in Python. You're going to want to install the Python extension here so that this is in here. let that run. You'll see there's a little install button. Click install. We'll be in really good shape once you do that. If you find other packages you'd like to use along the way, please feel free to use those as well. The other extension I'd like you to install is GitLab. You will see we have multiple things here, right? GitLab, 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 all the way down. So this is the default extension for GitLab. Okay, we have the official GitLab maintained extension for Visual Studio Code. This is actually what we want, the GitLab workflow. So you can go ahead and click install. That'll install it. And you'll see once it's actually installed, it'll give you a nifty little icon over here, right? You'll see mine is hidden down here just because of the size of my screen, which lets me do some extra things with GitLab. So fundamentally, that is all that you need to do to get things started. Now, I will tell you that we would really like to go ahead and create a project just to show you what this looks like. I'm going to go ahead on my desktop. I am going to create a new folder for my new project, just to give you an idea of what this looks like. And I'm going to say open this folder. I can go over here. You'll see I can create a new file. That's great. I believe I can also go in here, Python select. You see we have all these things. A new Python file is what I'd be looking for. You may be asking how I brought up this nifty menu. I'm on a Mac, so I pressed Command, Shift, and P. It brings up this menu with all your commands. You can do the same thing pressing Control, Shift, and P on Windows. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to create a new Python file. You'll see it just gives it a name. I'm going to save it. I'm just going to call it main.py for the time being. And you'll see this is where we are going to eventually write our code. There are some hidden things that will come in here. You'll see it keeps a history of what I've written, all these kind of things. Another thing that is very nice about this is you can open up a terminal on the bottom so you can actually type commands directly. This is a wonderful thing. Very easy to work with, very easy to do. But you will see all you have to do once you have Python installed, all these kinds of things. Once you actually write some Python code, we'll go ahead and say print welcome to CS5010. I'll save that, Command S or Control S, and then you can see I can actually go Command Shift P and I can actually say run Python file in terminal, and you'll see it actually ran it. You'll see the output right there. Or if I'm in my terminal, as long as I'm in the same directory, that ls command is the same as dir on your Windows. It shows you whatever is in your current directory. All you would need to type is Python with the file name or Python 3, which is great. We can also do things like this. You'll see I can put a breakpoint right here, that little red thing. I can click over here and I can say debug file, Python file. And if I do that, it says, well, oh, I need to run and debug. There we go. We're doing it. It stops. It is paused right here. And I will give you another video to show you all about debugging. But I can actually control how everything executes in my code. I can watch variables. I can do some very cool things. But all in all, this should get you fundamentally set up to work in this class.